By order of the Peaky Blinders. Those words have echoed in our minds for over a decade. Now, for one last ride, Tommy Shelby is back. And this time, he's not just fighting for his family or his name. He's fighting for the very soul of England. It's like someone reopened the garrison for one night, called in every surviving soul and said, "Right then, this is it." And when the dust settles, we're left with a finale that's equal parts heartbreak, triumph, and the bittersweet echo of a legend finally relieved of his ghosts. FYI, this is a full spoiler review of the film, so if you haven't watched it yet, by order of the Peaky Blinders, you know what to do. The film drops us into Birmingham, 1940, with Tommy in self-imposed exile, the war raging, and the Peaky Blinders mostly ghosts of themselves. Duke, Erasmus, the illegitimate son we only glimpsed in the series, now wears the razor-sewn cap as leader, and that alone feels like a deliberate echo of early Tommy, young, ambitious, and more reckless than he realizes. The plot kicks in when Duke stumbles into a Nazi espionage operation centered on Birmingham, dragging Tommy back from the edge of oblivion, because when the country and the family are threatened, there is never really a choice. What follows plays like a compressed, war-era season of Peaky Blinders, political deals in smoke-filled rooms, back-alley negotiations with old allies, and an escalating confrontation with Beckett, the spy master who runs a web of German agents out of a riverside warehouse. The story is smaller than you might expect from a long-promised film, but in a way, that's where its nostalgic power comes from. It's less about topping the series and more about bringing Tommy's arc to its inevitable breaking point. The film knows exactly why you pressed play, to see these people again and feel that old, dangerous magic. Seeing Cillian Murphy slide back into Tommy's coat is electric. He moves more slowly now, but every glance still feels like a calculation made 3 moves ahead, and every silence lands like a threat or a confession. Ada's presence anchors the movie emotionally. Her scenes with Tommy, burdened by all the years between them, are among the most quietly devastating in the whole franchise. Johnny Dogs, Hayden Stagg, and other familiar figures don't just pop in for fan service. They carry the weight of history, reminding you of bars burned down, deals betrayed, and families pieced back together. Even the absences are weaponized. Arthur's non-appearance hangs over every scene until the film finally reveals the truth. He killed him in 1938 in a drunken, rage-soaked confrontation, an act he's been spiritually running from ever since. It's a brutal twist, one that many fans understandably hate, but it also reframes the entire movie as penance rather than just one last job. Among the new characters, Duke is the most important because he's the answer to the question the series left hanging: what happens to the Blinders when Tommy is gone? Barry Keoghan plays him as a live wire, half Tommy and half Arthur, capable of strategic cruelty but constantly on the verge of flying apart. And watching Tommy try to shape him without repeating his own sins gives the film's most poignant through line. The antagonistic side is embodied by Beckett, the Nazi spy master, and he works less as a fleshed-out villain than as a symbol, the final, clearest line between the man Tommy was and the man he wants to be remembered as. That's one of the film's smarter nostalgic touches. In the early days, Tommy blurred morality for business. Here, in wartime, he finds a rare clarity by picking a fight that is unquestionably worth shedding blood over. The climax with Tommy and Hayden Stagg rigging Beckett's riverside warehouse and turning the Nazi network into a fireball is classic Peaky Blinders staging, meticulous planning, clenched jaw tension, then sudden operatic violence. It's not subtle, but it is fitting. His whole life has been walking out of burning buildings, and this time he finally pays the cost in full. What makes the ending resonate is what comes after the gunshot. The film leans into the title, The Immortal Man, not as literal survival, but as an idea. Tommy's legend outliving the damaged, compromised flesh. We see the fallout in fragments, the family gathering, Duke stepping up, the sense that the Peaky Blinders will continue in stories and whispered threats rather than in Tommy's shadow, and it feels like the right note to end on, somewhere between tragedy and myth-making. Peaky Blinders, the Immortal Man, feels like coming home to a world built from smoke, blood, and memory, and then being asked to say goodbye to it properly this time. It is flawed, sometimes provocatively so, but as a farewell to Tommy Shelby, it mostly earns the weight of that last cigarette in the dark. For all its controversial choices, especially the revelation about Arthur and the divisive, abrupt nature of Tommy's death, this film still feels like a mostly fitting send-off to one of television's great anti-heroes. It gives you the old ingredients you were nostalgic for, the hats, the bar rooms, the brutal poetry of the dialogue, while letting Tommy's story close in a way that honors his sins and his sacrifices. Walking away from the credits, it feels less like we watched a franchise extension and more like we finally heard the last verse of a song that started in a smoky Birmingham betting shop by order of the Peaky Blinders. Hey, want more Wright Flicks reviews? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.